Koreans to short yen and copper and go long ASEAN banks. Why is that?
Well, the yen just does seem to want to go down, and certainly the government in Japan is keen to get it down even further. So we're pretty confident that the yen will fall. We think there's some good reasons for it to fall, and we expect clients are making money by shorting the yen. Copper's slightly different. We're looking at much weaker global growth than the consensus, and a further slowdown in China and India this year, which are two of the big consumers of copper. So we think it's right to be short copper as well. But the place where the growth is ASEAN, whether it's Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand or Malaysia. The ASEAN 4 are moving in the right direction. We think their companies look good. We think the credit cycle is in a significant upward cycle which will last for the next 2 to 4 years, and therefore the ASEAN banks to us look like some of the best buys in Asia.
And you're still holding onto your long positions in gold and U.S. equities at the expense of French equities. How would this strategy change going into the second half?
The long gold won't change as long as people like Mr. Bernanke and now Mr. Kuroda and Mr. Carney at the Bank of England and Mr. Draghi at the ECB keep promising to debase their currencies and print more and more paper. We will be long gold for as long as central banking as we know it today is in place, because the only safe place to be is in an asset that isn't being debased on a daily basis. So the long gold strategy certainly won't change. We'll watch the US longs on equities. That might change going forward depending on how we see the US economy and effectively the profit cycle there. At the moment we've been quite positive about the US and continue to be relatively constructive about it. And so therefore, in comparison with all of the other developed countries, we see the US equity market doing quite well. But our eyes are on that one just in case there's a renewed slowdown in the US economy.
You downgraded Japan to underweight at the end of February and have kept it there even as the Nikkei has seen a strong run-up. What would you need to see now to reconsider your exposure to Japan?
Yeah, we're underweight, and it's underweight for that reason of the equity market is dependent on a weakening currency. We're underweight equities in the sense that we think that that's a dangerous position to be in if the yen suddenly reverses. But let's say that the yen continues to depreciate, then the easier bet for all of us is basically just to be short the yen rather than to have to put money into Japan to hopefully get some upside on the equity market. I think it's going to be a long time before we change our position on Japan now, given the policies that are in place, which to us still look like being very incoherent, inconsistent policies in terms of trying to generate economic growth.